Politics and football, eh? You can't keep them apart. Now, this video is going to be a very hard one for me to do, because it's going to be so tough for me to do this video without pissing off people. It is absolutely impossible to do that. So I'm going to try my best to be impartial and to be neutral and just state the facts and evidence that we've got on both sides here, because the reason why I'm doing this is that we've gone from one side being into we must kick out politics from football, politics has no place in football, and then in the last week or two, it's now been all we can ever talk about is politics in football. One side being just kick it out, it's no involved, okay, football is football, keep it as football. So now it is, how can we even think about the football, because it's about the sports washing. Very tough to talk about subjects. I'm going to try my best here to see it from both sides. Now, the reason why I say this is that less than 18 months ago, when each player, predominantly Premier League and even the English national team, they were taking the knee before each game. A symbol against racism in football, which is a massive problem in football, and if you pretend to think that it isn't, then you're an idiot. It became a massive issue for the Euros, because when English players took the knee before the game, I believe in a friendly against Austria, they got booed. They got booed by their own fans because they took the knee. Why are these players taking the knee? Rio Ferdinand came out saying that it's about recognizing reality and demanding a change. It's a symbol of pride, pride in identity, pride in using our platform for change. That's why players take the knee. So if you're a supporter, support this. That is a reason of taking a knee. Simple as that. Because if you want to put a blind eye to it or not, racism is still a massive problem in football. Week on week, we always see articles of this person's been banned for how many years because of being racist of a football game. Just a month ago, I did a video about an Everton fan who got banned for only 3 years for making a racist remark to Dwight McNeil. And of course, this isn't just an Everton thing. You can go and type up, any club and just say that club and then racist, and you'll find an article of a person being racist. Now, of course, is every single club racist? No. Sadly, when you have a club with a large amount of fans, there's going to be one idiot. There's going to be some idiots, and that's just a shameful part of it. That's why I hate it when, let's say, one incident happens. For example, from a personal perspective, as I'm a Burnley fan, the White Lives Matter banner that flew over the Etihad, I got heat for that, as if it was me that did it. Not every Burnley fan is against Black Lives Matter and the movement. It was a select small group of people who are sadly Burnley fans. They are Burnley fans. I can't say they're not Burnley fans, but sadly they held that belief, and they did it in a way which put everyone else in a bad light. They do not talk on behalf of me. They do not talk on behalf of Burnley fans. As simple as that. They talk for themselves, and the fact they put Burnley in that banner still me off. So there was a knee in the Euros, and that our own players got booed by their own fans, and over time it got better and better until the final, and then sadly of all players it was Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford and Bukayo Saka that missed the 3 penalties that sadly had us lose the final. And then guess what? Racism comes out again. A good fact of life is that you learn more about yourself in failure, and you learn about yourself in defeat. And that is what happened when England sadly lost in that penalty shootout, that we saw a massive problem of Rashford, Sancho and Saka receiving racist abuse online. And the best part was the reaction from seeing such cruel acts. The solidarity of the country coming together in support of these 3 young players was fantastic to see, and it's a fantastic example of showing that these idiots do not represent the country. And I'm going to get a comment from someone saying, oh wait, but you're white, so why are you talking about racism, which is a stupid thing to say, because even though yes, I cannot truly understand the impact and the pain of being a black person or in the BAME community that receives racism, I can't understand that. I can sympathize with them, I cannot empathize with them. There's a difference, and I understand that completely. Now, how does this all lead to what's happening now? And that's because back in the summer of last year, we had a very strong mindset of keep politics out of football. Football is football. Don't bring in your Black Lives Matter to football because we're just playing football on the pitch, right? We've gone from that to now all we could talk about is about Roman Abramovich with Putin, PIF, the Saudi Public Investment Fund, and their takeover of Newcastle United. Every single week, all I see is people pointing fingers at Newcastle for the fact that they've been bought over by Saudi owners. I'm seeing managers and players of these football clubs, for example, you saw Tuchel asking Tuchel questions about the fact that what's his thoughts about the conflict in Ukraine, and because his owner which is Roman Abramovich, has got links to Putin, that he feels like he should be put in the spotlight to have his say, because in theory he is working for Abramovich. So from people's perspective of why they think this is relevant is because he is a paid member of the institution of a large asset which is related to the man who owns it, which they believe to be having a financial impact onto the conflict with Ukraine. And then Tuchel, a football manager, is receiving questions about what's his opinion on the conflict with Ukraine. He's a football manager, so of course he's not going to speak about it because it doesn't really involve him, but people think that it does involve him because he works for this guy. Let's say, for example, you work at an engineering firm, you're like a manager at an engineering firm, and your boss above you that owns the engineering firm gets in some deep shit. Let's say that he gets in some trouble. Let's say that owner does something which is seen as quite almost repulsive, that people are really against it. If you're the manager of that company, is it fair for you to be almost tarnished with that same brush? If you're getting paid very, very well, will you leave? Will you leave the company? Some of you may say yes, some of you will say no, and that's based on your own morals, I guess. Yeah, that's completely your choice. Yesterday, after the Chelsea game, Eddie Howe got asked a question by a journalist about what's his opinion on the 81 executions in Saudi Arabia. If you do not know, the death penalty is still a thing in Saudi Arabia, and the 81 people that was executed, stated to be ISIS members, stated to be terrorists, stated to be those that have caused harm and are seen as murderers to people in that region and in the land of Saudi Arabia. And some people say, yeah, but that's what they want you to think, and if you're someone like this, then there's no point really talking to you, because you're going to think that everything is some mad conspiracy, so there's really no point, honestly. But that is what's happened at 81 executions, and that's why it happened. And Eddie Howe got asked a question of what's his opinion on it, and he said, I'll just stick to football, which I think is fair enough, because he's a football manager. Everyone's gone from no politics in football to now politics must be now involved in football, because now it's sports washing, and now there's so much going on that we've got to talk about it, because we cannot just talk about football when all this is going on. So the stance are these two things. Either if you are a paid member of an institution which has a owner with very questionable acts, that you should be questioned for the acts that they do, because of the fact that you are a paid worker for them. That's the stance that people have. And the other stance is, even if you are a paid member of a institution with a owner which has got some questionable acts, that the actions of the owner should not represent onto yourself, as you are not involved in the act. These are the two stances. You can make your own opinion on which one and which side you're on. I don't think that Tuchel and Eddie Howe should be asked questions of what has happened with their owners. For example, Pep Guardiola, they're literally owned by the Deputy Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates. I feel like at this stage it's almost impossible to keep politics out of football now, especially what's happened in the last couple of months. It has massively accelerated it. Feel free and tell me your thoughts down in the comments. I feel like this may start some with me, and I may get some stick for it, but yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys next time. See ya.